Good evening, children. Today we are going to learn about the topic in biological science subject. From this lesson, every year we are getting one question. So listen carefully. What comes to your mind by observing this picture? You are observing various kinds of living organisms around the planet, across the Earth planet, different kinds of animals, plants. Are they similar in structure? Are they looking similar? No, they are not similar in structure. Every living being has its own importance, has its own structure, and they have different purposes on this earth planet. So every living being is unique. Every living being is important here. So we are going to discuss about all living organisms in this chapter, that is biodiversity and its conservation. So nature is beautiful. It has various kinds of living organisms like this. You can observe various organisms like birds, reptiles, insects, mammals. We have different kinds of animals as well as plants, aquatic plants, desert plants, terrestrial plants, tall trees, small plants. There are different varieties of plants and animals are there. See here, what is this? This is vulture. International Biodiversity Meet in 2012 held at Hyderabad declared that vulture is in endangered species list. This vulture is in our state. This is in endanger. What is in endanger? The number of a living organism of the particular species decline very rapidly. That means their number is decreasing day by day. If we do not protect them, they will disappear completely from this earth planet. So this is one of the species that belongs to endangered species. It belongs to our state. See, endangered vulture seen in Adilabad district. On the 5th of June 2013, it was reported that critically endangered vultures were seen in Adilabad district. The number of vultures were going down at a fast rate due to pollutants in the area. A forest cited them in Murliguda forest of Bejur Mandal, now in Komarambim Asifabad district, and initiated conservation efforts. Why these vultures rate is decreasing day by day? Because of the pollutants. Why these pollutants increasing in the atmosphere? We are using different pesticides on crop fields, and the emissions from the factories are causing pollution and releasing pollutants. These pollutants causing the decline rate are decreasing the number of these vultures. And what is this animal or what is this bird? Blue jay. Commonly we call it as Palapitta. Palapitta is our state bird. Our government has declared blue jay or Indian roller, also known as Palapitta, our state bird. The scientific name of the Palapitta is Coraceus bengalensis. The bird, which was frequently observed at different places, now is in endangered list of birds. Due to changes in environment, frequent use of insecticides and non-availability of food, the number of these birds have gradually decreased. So our government has taken an initiation to conserve this bird. We can conserve these birds by implementing national and international laws and by having an understanding of their habitat properly. Here, why they are decreasing day by day, why their number is decreasing? Because of the pesticides and environmental changes, the lack of food. Birds usually eat insects or seeds. We are spraying various kinds of pesticides, insecticides, herbicides on the crop fields. That herbicide chemicals and insecticide chemicals remains on the surface of the seeds or the surface of the insects. If these birds eat those seeds, they die. So, so these birds are in rare in sight nowadays. The most beautiful bird, Coraceus bengalensis. It is also called as blue jay, and it is also called as Indian roller, Palapitta. See, what are these birds? This is koyal, this is crow, and this one is myna. Are you watching these birds in your locality? 40 years ago or 50 to 60 years ago, these birds are visible in our native places, in our locality, in our local areas. But now we are observing them very often. Why? Their number is decreasing day by day. They are also in endangered list. Any other birds became rare sight? Why were monkeys entering into our habitats? I think you all know the children. Monkeys are everywhere. They are living along with us. Why? Actually, monkeys are the wild animals. They should live in the forest. But why they are entering into our habitats? We are destroying the habitats of the wild animals. We are converting those forests, their habitat, into cultivated lands, or for agricultural purposes we are using them, or to build the forest, or to build the industries. We are destroying the habitats. So that is why their house, their home, they are homeless. So though they are coming to our habitats for food and shelter. So different kinds of animals and plants are living around us. So that is called biodiversity. Biodiversity is the biological variety. Biological, bio means living organisms. Here, what are the living organisms? We have two major kinds of living organisms. Those are plants and animals. Here, different varieties of plants we have. The smallest one, plant that is moss to, and the highest, most tallest plant, redwood plants. Up to we have different varieties of plants. Smallest animal to biggest blue whale, we have different kinds of animals we have. Not only plants and animals, there is another one living things are there. Those are microorganisms. In microorganisms also we have variety or various kinds of species are there. Okay, biodiversity means biological variety, different kinds of living things lives in a place. Variability of life on earth, that is biodiversity. Biodiversity means జీవ వైవిధ్యం అంటే ఇక్కడ వివిధ రకాల జీవులు ఒక ఏదైనా ఒక ప్రాంతంలో నివసిస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఇక్కడ నివసించే ప్రాంతంలో ప్రతి జీవి దానికంటూ ఒక ప్రత్యేకతని కలిగి ఉంటది. ఏ జీవి దానికదే ప్రత్యేకం అన్నమాట. కానీ అన్ని జీవులు ఒకదానిపై ఒకటి ఏదో ఒక సందర్భంలో ఆధారపడుతూ నివసిస్తూ ఉంటాయి. దట్ ఈస్ బయోడైవర్సిటీ, జీవ వైవిధ్యం. ఓకే, హియర్ ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ అబ్జర్వ్ ద life at your home, are you only the living being living in your home? No, along with you there are various kinds of living organisms living with you. Did you find? Here you can see the black diagram of the biodiversity at your home. They denoted with the color green dot is denoting plants, dark green, light green, small plants, red dots, animals, dark blue, humans, brown color, insects, pink, birds, blue color, fish. Here in this house, different kinds of animals we have seen. If you take your house, you have also various kinds of living organisms living with you, like lizards, ant, spider, chicken or hen, cock, like buffalo, she buffalo, cow, goats, sheep, and the persons in your family, and the plants which you are growing at your home, like flowering plants, vegetable plants, fruit plants, trees, various kinds of plants and animals are living at your home. That is the biodiversity of your home. మీ ఇంట్లో మీతో పాటు మీరు కాకుండా రకరకాల జీవులు నివసిస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ఇవి మీతో పాటు నివసించే చీమలు, బల్లులు, చిలుకలు, పక్షులు, రకరకాల మొక్కలు, వీటన్నిటిని కలిపి మీ ఇంటి యొక్క జీవ వైవిధ్యంగా చెప్తాం అన్నమాట. దట్ ఈస్ ద బయోడైవర్సిటీ ఆఫ్ యువర్ హోమ్. We can observe everywhere. You can see these kind of living organisms at your home. We have different biodiversity at our school. Here, if you visit nearby orchard, you can observe different kinds of living things there. If you observe clearly, you can find various kinds of plants, from climbers, creepers, small plants, trees. On the trees, you can find various insects, birds, reptiles, different kinds of living organisms you can find in the orchard. So visit nearby orchard and write down the various living organisms you find in that orchard. సో ఆర్చర్డ్ ఈజ్ వన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ బయోడైవర్సిటీ. మీకు దగ్గరలో ఉన్న ఏదైనా తోటకి వెళ్ళండి, ఆ తోటలో ఉన్న రకరకాల జీవుల లిస్ట్ రాయండి, జాబితా రాయండి. అది ఆ తోటలో ఉన్న జీవ వైవిధ్యంగా మనం చెప్పొచ్చు. విజిట్ నియర్ బై ఫీల్డ్స్ and write down the list of living organisms you observed there. Different types of plants you observed, different types of animals you observed there, and write it down in the paper. You can, if you observe the list, there are various kinds of plants and animals. So that is the biodiversity in that field. We observed the living organisms around us, visible. They are visible. Plants and animals visible. If we observe the invisible world under the microscope, we have also find there different kinds of different varieties of living organisms in the microbial world also. If you observe here in the picture, you can see various types of microorganisms you can see here. Are they similar? No, they are not similar. First, in the first picture, you can see the round-shaped bacteria, and in the second picture, bar-shaped bacteria. If you see in the second line, in the second row, various kinds of fungi you can observe. These are all different in structure, and the leaves, the place they leaves also different. But these are all invisible living organisms that are microbes or microorganisms. In the first row, you can see the bacteria, coccus bacteria, bacillus bacteria, lactobacillus bacteria. Where did you find lactobacillus bacteria? Lactobacillus bacteria, every day we are eating them. They are present in curd. In the second row, you can see penicillium. I think you all know the penicillin injection. When we take penicillin injection, when we get any wounds, cuts, then we take the penicillin injection. It is an antibiotic. And the second one is rhizopus, bread mold. Commonly we call it as buju. Fungi or fungi also called as bujulu. common name. Silindram anta manam Telugulo. The third one is Aspergillus. This is another one, fungi. And in third row, you can observe the shapeless living organism, that is amoeba. Second one, slipper animalcule, paramecium. Third one, bell animalcule, verticella. These are all microorganisms. They are different in structure. Different kinds we are observing here. If you observe here, Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, diatom, Spirulina, Edogonium, Serratium. These are all algae, but they are not similar. Their structure is different. They looks very beautiful. Each and every living organism, its own beauty, isn't it? See, in the last row, you can see the Cyclops, Daphnia, Scabies mite, eyelash mite. These are all microarthropods. Microarthropods, insects. They are invisible insects. We can't able to see them through naked eye. If we take butterfly ant, we can see them with our eyes. But if we take Cyclops, Scabies mite, we can't see them with our naked eye. But they are present around us. We can see them only through microscope. Okay. These are all the microbial microorganisms. Microbial world is also have its own biodiversity. Different kinds of microorganisms are living around us. Microbial biodiversity, we can say that. సూక్ష్మజీవులు కూడా మన చుట్టూ నివసించే సూక్ష్మజీవులు అన్ని కూడా ఒకే మాదిరిగా ఉండవు. దేనికదే ప్రత్యేకంగా ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట. సూక్ష్మజీవ ప్రపంచం కూడా మనం భిన్నమైనది, రకరకాల జీవులతో కూడింది సూక్ష్మజీవులు కూడా. అందుకే మనం బయోడైవర్సిటీ ఇన్ మైక్రోబియల్ వరల్డ్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు అన్నమాట ఇక్కడ. ఓకే. If you take the plants, two similar plants, any here if you take the grass plant or any other plant, observe those two plants closely and find the differences. Any 5 or more than that or below 5 variations in plants. Let us observe these two plants. These two are petunia plants. They are, if you see them, they are looking similar. If you observe very closely, there are some variations. There are some differences in those two plants. If we observe here and here, this plant is height is different when compared to this plant. This plant height is different, and this plant has more flowers when compared to this. And if you see here a light pink flower, you can observe here. All these flowers are dark pink in color. Slight differences even though if we take two neem plants of same size, you can find the difference in the color of the leaves or the shape of the plant or the length of the leaf or the length of the root. There are some variations, differences in the same plants also. Variations in animal. You can take any two animals belongs to same species, like 2 hens or 2 dogs or 2 goats. In that also, we can find difference in their color of fur, nails. Nails means goal, claw, పంజాలు, hooves. వాటి గిట్టలు ఉంటాయి కదా, వాటిలో కానీ మనకి డిఫరెన్స్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. If there are birds list, at least 5 differences of their feathers, feet, crown, tail. If you take any birds, you can find 5 differences in the birds. Let us observe the differences in birds. See, observe the color of these two birds. Here the bird color is pale, red color. If you see this bird color, this is dark red color. If you observe the tail of this bird, And if you observe the tail of this bird, this is straight, and you can see here a little curve. If you closely observe the feathers and quill of those birds, there will be a slight difference. If you observe the beak, you can find the difference in the beak. If you see all at once, they look similar, but we observe in deep, we can find some differences. That is the variation in living organism. Every living organism is unique. That is what I want to say. Here you can see these are all geese, puttabathal antaman. Are they all similar? No. The color of the feathers different. Some are tall and some are fat, and some are thin. Or there are different differences in individually. They have some characteristics. The same one I presented in the last slide. That is variation in animals. మనం ఏదైనా రెండు జీవుల్ని పరిశీలించినప్పుడు ఒకే జాతికి చెందినవి, ఆ ఒకే జాతికి చెందిన రెండు కోళ్ళని తీసుకున్నప్పటికీ కూడా వాటి కాళ్ళలో కానీ, ఈకల్లో కానీ, రెక్కల్లో కానీ, తల, తోక ఎక్కడైనా ఒక చోట మనకి డిఫరెన్సెస్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి అని చెప్పడం అన్నమాట. ఇక్కడ ప్రతి జీవి కూడా దానికదే ప్రత్యేకం. ఒకే జాతికి చెందిన అయినప్పటికీ కూడా వాటి రెండిటి మధ్య తేడాలు ఉంటాయి. అది కోళ్ళు కావచ్చు, మేకలు తీసుకుంటే వాటి యొక్క గిట్టల్లో కానీ, కాళ్ళలో, మూపురంలో ఎక్కడైనా డిఫరెన్స్ అనేది మనం అబ్జర్వ్ చేయొచ్చు అని. If we take, we observe the plants, we observe the animals. Now I am taking two students. Observe two students of your class. Are they same in height? Take two students of your class. Observe their hands, fingers, toes, nails, hair, eyes, ears, etc. Toe means kali vellu. Toes ante. You know, hands, fingers, all those. Observe the texture of their skin. Is it dry, oily, smooth, or rough? If there are twins in your class or school family, observe them and find the variations among them. Even though they are identical twins, if we closely observe them, they have differences in them. Okay. See, these two children are from the same class. Observe the height of them. The first student is taller when compared to the second one. Observe their hand size, their skin color, their nose shape, their head shape, ears shape. If you observe each and every part, you can find differences in them. Everybody is unique. Even though those two belongs to the same class, those two belongs to the same species, that are human species, they have differences. That is, I am saying, వాళ్ళిద్దరూ ఒకే క్లాస్ అయినప్పటికీ, మానవ జాతికి చెందిన వాళ్ళు అయినప్పటికీ, చూస్తానికి ఒకే విధమైన లక్షణాలు కలిగి ఉన్నప్పటికీ, వాళ్ళని ప్రత్యేకంగా పరిశీలించినప్పుడు మనకు చాలా డిఫరెన్సెస్ అనేవి కనిపిస్తాయి. అది చర్మం రంగులో కావచ్చు, గోళ్ళు కావచ్చు, చేతులు కావచ్చు, చెవులు కావచ్చు, వాటి యొక్క నిర్మాణం కావచ్చు, మనకి తేడా అనేది తెలుస్తుంది అన్నమాట. If you take the cricket players pictures, different countries cricket players pictures like West Indies, Australia, India, and paste their pictures in the notebook and observe the variations in them. Could you find any two persons with exactly same characters? Could you find any two grass plants having exactly same characters? We observed the petunia plants in the earlier slides. No, there are some differences in the plants. Like the same way, we observe some differences in the cricketers pictures also. If you see here, are they all similar? No, their skin color is different. If you observe closely, their ears shape and the eyeball color, pupil color is also different. And the voice is also different. There are different variations or differences we can find in the among the cricketers. So what we can conclude from these differences between the cricketers and differences between plants, observing the plants, observing the animals, observing the students, and observing the cricketers. Every living organism is unique. Even though they belongs to the same species, we can find differences between the uh, same species also. Okay, that is I want to say. Yeah, biodiversity should present biodiversity మన చుట్టూ కూడా biodiversity అనేది ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది అంటే different types of living organisms are always present around us, but the action of humans, that biodiversity is disturbing, the balance in the environment is disturbing because of the human actions. So let us see one example, that is the case study of forest at Ramagundam. In 60 to 70 years back, Ramagundam had dense forest with a rich heritage of wildlife. This forest extended to border areas of Manchiryal district. It was an abode for wild animals like tigers, leopards, deers, hyenas, foxes, wild pigs, foxen, bears, python, cobras, porcupines. Porcupine is commonly called as mullapandi. Wild pigs are commonly called as adavi pandi. Hyenas are commonly called as kundrigal. Owls, hares, monitor lizards. Monitor lizard is also called as udumu. Scorpions, germandals. That means various kinds of wild animals are there in the forests of the Ramagunda. What happened after the establishment of thermal power plant in Ramagundam? We cleared the forest. We made some buildings, roads, stone quarries. So the forest area was cleared. So forest area is declined. Because of that deforestation, these wild animals disappeared in the Ramagundam. Not only in Ramagundam, in Manchiryal district, there is Tiger Valley. Actually, when this thermal power plant came into force, the Tiger Valley have no sign of the tigers. Animals like foxen, deers, germandals are also not seen in these days in the Manchiryal district. Various kinds of reptiles, birds are also there, but because of these industries and thermal power plants, deforestation happened and they cleared the forest area. Wild animals do not have their habitat to live, so they moved to other place, and some wild animals died because of lack of food. So what is the difference between the situation regarding types of animals present 70 years ago and now? What might have happened to tigers of Ramagunda? Do we find tigers anywhere else in our country? Peacocks love eating snakes. Can you guess why they dwell in this place? Actually, 70 years ago, there are many different varieties of wild animals are there in Ramagundam in Karimnagar district. But what happened when the industries and power plant establishment, the forest was cleared, so wild animals has lost their habitat. So tigers migrate to other places, or some tigers died lack of food, even though they are not found in that area, but we can find tigers in other places of our country. Peacocks love to eat snakes. We can find more variety of reptiles in dense forests. For example, the disappearance of tigers from that area, Ramagundam, means it is extinct for that particular area only. That means tigers are not found in Ramagundam, but can be found in other parts of our country and in the world as well. When animals vanish forever from the earth, it is said that the species has become extinct. Here you can keep in mind the word extinct. What is extinct? Extinct means the living organisms vanish forever from the earth. We can't able to see them in the earth planet. If we take dinosaurs, dinosaurs are the extinct species. We are only seeing them in the museums. Museums only we are seeing their skeleton only, not the complete the body. Okay, animals completely vanish forever from the earth planet, completely disappear from this earth planet. That species are called extinct species. If we do not protect these endangered animals, I told endangered also very crucial word, important keyword. Endangered means here the species number declining rapidly. Their number is decreasing rapidly on this earth planet. That species belongs to endanger. What about extinct? The animals or living organisms vanish forever from the earth planet. That species are called extinct species. Okay, is there any extinct species in your area? Name them and write a note on them. Give your reasons for why organisms become extinct. Do you know, children, why organisms become extinct? If you take dinosaurs, why dinosaurs were extinct from this earth planet? Because of the natural calamities, natural destruction, or meteoroid, and also tsunamis, forest fires, lack of food, different types of causes leads to the organisms extinct. And the main reason behind the extinction of various living organisms, humans are the species. If you take the dodo bird was extincted from this earth planet because of the poaching, hunting of the humans. Their meat is very tasty, that is why humans hunt them, and they vanished forever from this earth planet. Dodo bird is also the extinct species like dinosaurs. How biodiversity is depleting in your area, how to improve it? Because of the pollution, because of the human intervention, that biodiversity is depleting, isn't it? Is it true or not? See, endanger, what is endanger? Keep in mind, very important. In this area you have question in the previous papers. Endangered means it is a warning signal about the organisms whose number has declined rapidly, and the species might be wiped off from the earth near future. If we do not protect them, they will be wiped off. ఏ జీవుల సంఖ్య అయితే భూమి పైన బాగా తగ్గిపోతుందో వాటిని కనుక మనం రక్షించకపోతే అవి ఈ భూమి మీద నుంచి పూర్తిగా అంతరించిపోతాయి అన్నమాట. అట్లాంటి వాటిని ఎండేంజర్ స్పీసీస్ అంటారు. ప్రమాదం అంచున ఉన్న జీవులు, దేర్ నెంబర్ ఈస్ డిక్రీజింగ్ డే బై డే. ప్రతి రోజుకి వాటి సంఖ్య బాగా తగ్గిపోతుంది. ఇది ఎండేంజర్డ్ స్పీసీస్ యొక్క సంఖ్య. ఓకే, హియర్ why the species are living organisms decreasing day by day? Who is the reason? Observe a signboard displayed at a zoo. Do you want to see the cruel creature which damages the nature severely and its biodiversity? Please turn this signboard. There is a signboard in the zoo. On that signboard, there is a caption wrote on it. That is, do you want to see the cruel creature which damages the nature severely? So if you want to see, you can turn this signboard. There is a mirror backside of the signboard. What does it say? If you turn that signboard, there is a mirror. You can see you in that mirror. That is because of the humans. There is a damage for biodiversity on this earth planet. So if we do not protect the endangered animals, they can wipe off, or they can completely vanish from this earth planet. So that World Wildlife Federation, WWF, International Union for Wildlife Conservation, and Geological Survey of London. These three organizations and so many other organizations every year they are surveying, and they are um, giving the list of the endangered species around the world, and they are declaring that these are in danger. These species are in danger, so we have to protect them, otherwise they will extinct. So these three are the important organizations. You should keep in mind the expanded form acronym of the WWF, IUWC, and ZSL. These three organizations are WWF, IWC, declaring the uh, endangered animals species list. And another most important one is the red data book. What this red data book says: this red data book symbolizes a warning signal for those species which are endangered and are to be protected. ఏవైతే ప్రమాదంలో ఉన్నవి, ఆ ప్రమాదంలో ఉన్న వాటిని సంరక్షించాలో వాటి గురించిన సమాచారాన్ని ఈ బుక్ తెలియజేస్తుంది, రెడ్ డేటా బుక్. అదర్వైజ్ దే ఆర్ లైక్లీ టు బికమ్ ఎక్స్టింక్ట్. ఏవైతే ప్రమాదంలో ఉన్నాయో, ప్రమాదంలో ఉండడం అంటే దేర్ నంబర్ ఈస్ డిక్రీజింగ్ డే బై డే. That is, we are saying it as endangered. So we have to protect them. If we do not protect them, they become disappear from the earth forever. So this red data book is always gives information about the endangered species. This red data book is introduced or released by the WWF, World Wildlife Federation, and also I told you IUWC, International Union for Wildlife Conservation. Okay, see some practice questions now. Plants or animal species found restricted to a particular area of a country are called endangered, endemic, invasive species, or extinct species. Only particular area, that species are called endemic species. Endemic means they only live in particular place. Like if we take the kangaroos only live, we can see only them in Australia. That is, kangaroo is endemic to Australia, we can say that. Plants are animal species found restricted to particular area. జీవులు కొన్ని ప్రాంతాలలో మాత్రమే నివసిస్తాయి, ప్రపంచం అంతటా అవి కనిపించవు. అలాంటి జీవులను ఏమంటామంటే ఎండెమిక్ స్పీసీస్ అంటాం. అలాంటి జీవజాతులని ఎండెమిక్ స్పీసీస్ అంటాం. ఓకే, ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కంగారు lives only in Australia. Is it clear? This is very important. This question is observed in previous papers. If you see, animals or plants whose population was diminishing at a fast rate were called as. ఏ జీవులు అయితే వాటి సంఖ్య బాగా వేగంగా తగ్గిపోతుందో వాటిని ఏమని అంటాము? ఎండేంజర్డ్, endemic, extinct, invasive alien species. What we call it? The endemic or endangered. Endanger అంటాం. ఏ జీవులు అయితే వాటి సంఖ్య వేగంగా తగ్గిపోతుందో వాటిని ప్రమాదంలో ఉన్న జీవులు అని చెప్పి అంటాం. ఎండేంజర్ అంటే ప్రమాదం అంచున ఉన్నవి. ఎండెమిక్ అంటే ఏదో ఒక ప్రాంతానికి మాత్రమే పరిమితమైన ప్రపంచంలో. ఎక్స్టింక్ట్ అంటే అంతరించిపోయేటివి. ఇన్వాసివ్ ఏలియన్ స్పీసీస్ అంటే విదేశీ ఆక్రమణ జాతులు. యాక్చువల్గా అవి ఒక ప్రదేశానికి చెంది ఉండవు, వేరే దేశానికి, వేరే ప్రాంతానికి చెందినవి ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చినాక ఇక్కడ విపరీతంగా విస్తరించిపోయి వేరే జీవులు ఇవి బతకనివి. అలాంటి వాటిని ఇన్వాసివ్ ఏలియన్ స్పీసీస్ అని చెప్పి అంటారు అన్నమాట. స్పీసీస్ విచ్ హావ్ బీన్ లాస్ట్ ఫర్ ఎవర్ ఆర్ కాల్డ్. ఏవైతే జీవజాతులు పూర్తిగా ఇంకా కనిపించకుండా పోయినాయో వాటిని ఏమని పిలుస్తాము? ఎండేంజర్, ఎక్స్టింక్ట్, థ్రెటెన్డ్ స్పీసీస్, రేర్ స్పీసీస్. ప్రమాదం అంచునున్నాయి అంటవా, అంతరించిపోయినవి అంటవా, ప్రమాదం స్థితిలో ఉన్నాయి అంటవా, లేకపోతే అరుదైన జాతులు అంటవా? బి ఈస్ ద రైట్ ఆన్సర్, ఎక్స్టింక్ట్ అని చెప్పి అంటాం. Why nowadays wild animals entering into our habitat? Why they are coming into our habitat? Humans destroying their habitat, lack of food, invasion of other non-native species. They felt secure in our areas. What is the correct answer for this question? ఎందుకు జంతువులు కోతులు అయితేమి ఇతర ఇప్పుడు ఏనుగులు అయితేనేమి మన పంటల మీద దాడి చేస్తున్నాయని చెప్పి మనం చదివి ఉంటాం పేపర్లో. వై దే ఆర్ ఎంటరింగ్ ఇన్ టు అవర్ హ్యాబిటేట్స్? బికాస్ హ్యూమన్స్ డిస్ట్రాయింగ్ దేర్ హ్యాబిటేట్. మనుషులు వాటి ఆవాసాలను అడవులన్నిటిని తీసేస్తున్నారు, నరికేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి అవి మన ఆవాసాల్లోకి వచ్చేస్తున్నాయి. ఇంకోటి ల్యాక్ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్. ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఈస్ నో ఫారెస్ట్ ఏరియా, దే డు నాట్ ఫౌండ్ ఫుడ్ ఫర్ themselves. So that is why for the sake of food they are entering into our habitats. Second one is also right. First one is also right. The third one, invasion of other native non-native species. ఇతర ప్రాంతానికి చెందిన జాతులు మన ప్రదేశంలో వచ్చి విపరీతంగా పెరిగిపోతున్నాయి. వీటికి ఉండడానికి స్థలం కోసం, ఆవాసం కోసం, ఆహారం కోసం అన్నిటికీ పోటీ ఉంది. అందుకని చెప్పేసి అక్కడ నుంచి వేరే దగ్గర పోతుంటాయి. అది కూడా కరెక్టే. మరి వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫోర్త్ వన్? దే ఫెల్ట్ సెక్యూర్ ఇన్ అవర్ ఏరియాస్. మన ప్రాంతంలో వాటికి భద్రత, రక్షణ ఉంటుందని చెప్పి మన ప్రాంతానికి వస్తుంది. ఈజ్ ఇట్ ట్రూ? నో. ఇఫ్ దే కమ్ ఇన్ టు అవర్ ప్లేస్, వాట్ వి డూ? వి ఫైట్ విత్ దెమ్ అండ్ వి బీట్ దెమ్. యాక్చువల్ మనం వాటిని కొడతాము, మనము ఇక్కడ నుంచి వాటి నుంచి ఎల్లగొడతాం అనమాట మన ప్లేస్ నుంచి. సో ద కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ ఫర్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్ 1, 2, 3. 3 options are correct. Who symbolizes warning signals for those species which are endangered and are to be protected? ఇక్కడ ఏది మనకి డేంజర్ లో ఉన్నాయి ఈ స్పీసీస్ అని చెప్తుంది. ఏది? రెడ్ డేటా బుక్, రెడ్ లిస్ట్ బుక్, రెడ్ లిస్ట్, రెడ్ డేటా. ఏది కరెక్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఏంటి ఇక్కడ? రెడ్ డేటా బుక్ అన్న రెడ్ లిస్ట్ బుక్ అన్న ఒకటే. సో ద కరెక్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఈస్ A and B. Red data book and red list book symbolizes the warning signals for those species which are endangered and are to be protected. This red data book or red list book is declared or published by WWF and IUWC. Okay, children. And you can see some endangered species. Most important, keep in mind their names and their images. In exam, NMMS exam, they give the pictures of the some living organisms. They ask which one of the following living organism is endangered, or find the odd one out. 4 పిక్చర్స్ ఇచ్చి దాంట్లో భిన్నమైనది ఏది అని గుర్తించమంటాడు. 3 ఎండేంజర్డ్ స్పీసీస్ ఇచ్చి 1 నార్మల్ స్పీసీస్ ఇస్తాడు. అట్లా కాబట్టి మీరు ఎండేంజర్డ్ స్పీసీస్ యొక్క పిక్చర్స్, వాటి యొక్క నేమ్స్ అన్ని కూడా మీరు నోట్ చేసుకుని ఉండాలి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకుండాలి. లయన్, రెడ్ ఫాక్స్, సింగిల్ హార్న్ రైనో, దిస్ వన్, అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ వల్చర్, స్పాటెడ్ చిత్తల్ డియర్, లోరిస్, స్మాల్ మంకీ లైక్, బ్లాక్ స్పైడర్ మంకీ, వైల్డ్ క్యాట్. These are the endangered animals. Endangered plants. Plant species also in danger. If we do not protect them, we can in near future they will disappear from this earth planet. First one is cycas. Second one is Rauwolfia serpentine. Sarpagandhi మొక్క అంటాం. దీని యొక్క వేర్లని స్నేక్ బైట్స్ కి ట్రీట్మెంట్ కి వాడతాం. Nepenthes. Nepenthes is a insectivorous plants. They eat the insects. Why they eat the insects? For the sake of nitrogen. నత్రజనిని అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకోవడం కోసం ఇక్కడ ఒక జగ్ లాగా కనిపిస్తుంది కదా. ఇఫ్ దిస్ జగ్ హ్యాస్ నెక్టార్, some chemicals which attracts the insects. If the insects go inside this jug, immediately this lid will close. That insect remain in this jug. They absorb the material from the insect and they kill the insects. That nitrogen material is useful for the plant. Actually, plants prepares their own food. Insectivorous plants prepares their own food, but they kills the insects for nitrogen compound. ఇన్సెక్టివర్ కీటకాహార మొక్కలు అంటాం మనం తెలుగులో. కీటకాహార మొక్కలు అనేవి వాటి ఆహారాన్ని అవే సొంతంగా తయారు చేసుకుంటాయి. కానీ వాటికి దగ్గరలో వచ్చిన కీటకాలని అవి ఏం చేస్తాయి, చంపుతాయి. ఎందుకు అనేసి అని అంటే దాంట్లో ఉన్న నత్రజని పదార్థాలను అవి తీసుకుంటాయి అన్నమాట. నెక్స్ట్ 4th పిక్చర్ ఇస్ శాండల్వుడ్ ట్రీ. శాండల్వుడ్ ట్రీ మనకి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్, డిఫరెంట్ కాస్మెటిక్స్ లో వాడుతూ ఉంటారు కదా. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ endangered species. In examination they will give the 4 pictures like cycas, sandalwood, nepenthes and neem. 4 మొక్కలు ఇస్తాడు. ఇది సైకస్ ఒకటి, శాండల్వుడ్, నెపంథిస్, నీమ్ ఇస్తాడు. ఈ 4 అట్లో ఆడ్ వన్ ఏంటి అని అడుగుతాడు. ఈ 4గిట్లో ఆడ్ వన్ ఏంటి అంటే నీమ్. ఎందుకంటే నీమ్ అనేది ఎండేంజర్ కాదు. ఇంకా మనకి నీమ్ ప్లాంట్స్, నీమ్ ట్రీస్ అనేవి మనకి మన చుట్టుపక్కల కనిపిస్తూనే ఉన్నాయి, కానీ తక్కువగా కనిపించేవి ఇవి అనమాట, సైకస్, నెపంథిస్, శాండల్. కాబట్టి అందులో భిన్నమైనది ఏంటంటే మనం అప్పుడు నీమ్ ట్రీ అని పెట్టాలి. ఓకేనా. ఈ ఎండేంజర్ స్పీసీస్ మీద కూడా క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతాం ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ కంపల్సరీ. ఎండేంజర్డ్, ఎక్స్టింక్ట్ అండ్ ఎండమిక్, వీటిలో కంపల్సరీ ఒక క్వశ్చన్ మాత్రం కంపల్సరీ మీకు పేపర్లో ఉంటుంది. వీటి మీద క్వశ్చన్ లేకుండా పేపర్ అనేది అసలు ఉండదు అనమాట. ఓకే చిల్డ్రన్, టుమారో we will continue the next subtopics in this lesson. I will continue them tomorrow. Okay. Thank you children. Thanks for